We chose the colloquium after going through an expression of interest process, and we went out and said, we need someone to come on a journey with us about growing that leadership capacity and improving the culture to make it, more adaptive and innovative and work on those issues. The colloquium proposal was fantastic, and after the interview we go, yes, that's what we want. Why did we want that? I think it's because it wasn't imposing it. I think it was very much wanting to work with us, knowing what we needed to deliver. It was also one where it was workshops over 6-9 months, but individual coaching to take individuals on the journey. There was a request, or maybe I should say it was a demand, that the CEO be involved in the process, and I thought that was really refreshing because I think it was saying, haha, we get it. If you don't have your most senior person involved in the exec, can you really go on a leadership journey without them involved? And I think that was the sort of icing on the cake to say, yes, they're serious about this. The impact was amazing. The first 3 days, just seeing the difference from the day one where there's probably fear, why are we doing this, we're busy in the office, to what happened by the last day. I couldn't even believe we could have got to that position. It was just a new level of energy, a new vibe, but very different conversations. The conversations were deep conversations. There's ones where there's willingness for people to talk about their own issues, their own vulnerabilities, where they needed support, but also deal with conflict with other managers. But there was also people that worked together that had never worked together. It was just walking back into the office after we'd done that the next week, you could literally pick the people having conversations, not just on email. The language had changed, they'd picked up new language, they were sharing and working together. So you could see that there was this, we're on this together and we're going to work through this together. The feedback would be, something's different. What is it? We're not sure what it is. They couldn't always put their finger on it, but something's different. But they probably noticed that they had managers or directors or CEO engaging more with them, talking to them more, being very positive in their language about what was happening. So I think they saw an improved level of engagement and felt they've been listened to. It was decided that the best investment we could make is to give them the opportunity to have the same journey that the senior leadership team had done. For some of those coordinators, it was the first time they'd ever been had an opportunity to even have a discussion about leadership, let alone having coaching or feedback. So walking into those rooms, you could pick an amazing vibe. For some of them, they were quite fearful for it, but once it became a safe environment, they actually grew very much in that time. I'm most proud that we actually took the journey. I think it's a bit like it was a diving board and we're jumping into a swimming pool when you've never done a dive before in that sense. I think one, making the decision to take the journey was the big one. Sticking to the journeys. There's times where you always end up with taking a step backwards on cultural journeys or leadership journeys. You go, oh, I thought we'd be here by now, and it is a constant journey. If I look at where we were and where we are now, there is such a difference. And you've got to keep going, you keep working on it. The other part I'm so proud of is the take-up of staff, the growth I've seen in some of my managers and coordinators. It's just fantastic to see some people that I don't think even they thought they would be here after 4 years. As a CEO, you must be committed to it. Not just involved, you've actually generally got to believe in it. So I think any leadership journey, and particularly with a colloquium, unless as a leader you're going to be there, I don't think you should do any. But with this one, I think it's so more important that you've got your exec and yourself involved in it. There's also so much learning in it for yourself. So I don't say that because you should be there as the leader. I actually say the program for CEOs in its own way is absolutely fantastic. And to do it with your team, and your executive team and your managers, there's so much growth. I got as much benefit out of this as any of the managers or coordinators They also see you, they can see you become vulnerable, you can see, how you are and how you respond to feedback in the round. But that's fantastic because if anything, you become more approachable, they can have a conversation and they see you're part of that journey. So the program is fantastic, but if you're a CEO in local government, join it, be part of it. I can highly recommend it, but you've got to be there as part of the journey.